out there in Streamland. So just going to check the streams to make sure everything is going up nicely. I hope everyone had a good Father's Day weekend. I know we're already in Wednesday, but hope everybody's doing good with that. Streamland. And yeah, just lowering the volume on there. Good. We're live on pretty much. I'm getting an offline signal is offline here. Not sure why. There it is. We're on Rumble now. And we should be on YouTube. Just double checking here for you guys. And good. I'm doing this so I can get to all your comments and jump in between comments, jump in between several platforms to grab your comments and seeing what you guys are discussing and talking about and what's happening in your neck of the woods. And this channel has been doing good for the last 10 years. You know why? It's because it's very simple. It's because of intelligence that we have. Not me. It's, hey, Mike, this is happening in New South Wales, Australia. Hey, Mike, this is happening in Auckland, New Zealand. Hey, Mike, I don't know if you've heard what's happening in London, England. And it's been connecting the dots across the Commonwealth now for over 10 years. And I remember getting a lot of shellac from a lot of people saying, why do you even care what's happening in Australia? You should be focusing on what's happening in Canada. No. You need to care about what's happening everywhere. Because they're always laying out this blueprint or this, let's test it out in Australia first and see how it goes. Or let's test it out over in New Zealand. And, you know, there's not a lot of people there. Maybe we could get something out of there. You know what I'm saying? So, and, yeah, just updating a few things here, folks. We got A from Aussie. We got Dana. Good afternoon. Good morning, says Polar Origins. Yes, we are live, says Numismatic King in the house here for morning coffee. I decided to do morning coffee with Mike at home today. I don't know. I just want to bring up a few articles. And to kind of go through the whole motions like this to this morning. You know what I'm saying? I got your comments open on 4 platforms here. And, yeah, who's the guinea pig country? Yeah, you know, it's kind of interesting that you asked that. Because we did put a poll up on our YouTube channel asking people. And we did a video for people to, what is the testing ground? What country is the testing ground? Is it Australia? Is it New Zealand? Is it Canada? Is it the UK? The United States? And most people went with Australia first, and then Canada, and then New Zealand. Right? So 1,000 silver in the house. So good to see you too. Lord Humongous in the house. Oh, from the wasteland. What? Yeah, everybody here, connecting from the Commonwealth. And really appreciate everybody's support. And, you know, it really means a lot to me that, you know, we've been doing this for this long. And we are maybe making a difference. You know, a lot of our word salads or what we talk about actually gets out there. Somebody else, maybe a publicist for a bigger channel, sees this. Whoa, look what this guy is saying. You don't have to plug him. Don't worry about plugging this guy. But you're saying something, and it sounds pretty good. And all countries are guinea pigs, says Lord Humongous. A good day from Niagara Falls, says Larry Raymond. I see the effects of having 17 operations last 7 years. I see the changes. Yep, changes coming, folks. And this week, something is going to go down this week, and it's really bothering me. It's been really eating away at me quite a bit, actually. I don't know what is happening, but I'm not trying to fear porn or get people scared. I mean, if I'm trying to go back and see videos we made 10 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago. For some reason, keep getting taken. I got a video from 27 taken down. They're building a digital prison around us, digital coin, digital currency. They actually took that video down from 2017, saying it's going against medical misinformation. Let me see if I could find the notice that they sent me. You can't make this stuff up, folks. All right, let's go to a 20-second channel plug here, if you guys don't mind. And if you guys don't mind, artbydano.com, artbydano.net, not your typical art. Don't forget to check out Dano at the Huntington Beach Pier. And FacoTube, we should be live on here. Here we go, live now, Morning Coffee with Mike and Headline News. There it is, live on FacoTube.com. You can find us on there too. KiwiRadio.nz. I love Ralphie. Look how much he look at this. WMTG.toys, realmikemartins.com, Mike in the Night. They got Vinny Eastwood on there. Don't forget to check out kiwiradio.nz. Please, guys, check it out and support them. $2 a month if you can. And legalhelperai.com. Keep the lights on for Mike in the Night. Could be found on realmikemartins.com. You could add me on Skype here. I get messages every day with people asking me, how can I find previous episodes of Mike in the Night? You got to go here and you got to click on this bar. Don't go down to archives. Archives have Spotify, all that, iHeartRadio. Just go here and it takes you to the actual, they're the episodes. This is the number one thing I get asked for, is how do I find back episodes? So I'm working hard on a daily basis to try and get it up to episode, right to the beginning pilot episode on Mike in the Night, so you could find them here. And I'm on Twitter, guys, but I can't really actually read this stuff to you guys. What's happening, bombshell, Canadian government bombshell, I can't read that here because it'll get me shut down. And Rumble, I don't know what my Rumble's here. And there's the petition here for justice for Billy TK, Vinny Eastwood at change.org. Go to change.org and sign the petition for justice for Billy TK and Vinny Eastwood. And a little bit of replay on Mike in the Night. Hear me out. Just hear me out on this one.
Sure.
You got this climate change that's full stop. I'm talking, it's everywhere. It's on front pages. It's what they're feeding us. And the funny part of this one is, a lot of people are actually buying this hook, line, and sinker. But what is the real thing? Like, there's something so big in the works. Either it's a real big hot war that's going to wipe out a percentage of us. Either they're going to pull the trigger on a mass pandemic. Or it's going to be something. And then it was something. And we were warning you guys from day one about that. We were warning you guys before this even happened that this was going to happen. That's how scary things have gotten. And so we got YYC guy from Calgary. We got DK from Penticton. We are not free. We're ruled by the crown, says Steve the Cross. No Point Out. And who else? The Saxon of Riverstone. And Silverlink's in the house. Silverlink's been sending me some really cool videos of some of the silver he's been harvesting and melting and smelting and doing his thing. And yeah, really cool stuff. I think I am following him on Twitter. So we got Junkyard Dog everybody here in the comments. I wonder if Junkyard Dog's still in Pennsylvania. It's kind of funny. He sent me a panorama. He sent me a panorama of where he was at, and I was looking, and I said, "Oh, you're in Pennsylvania." He's like, "How did you know that?" I'm like, I kind of know I've been through almost every state. I've been around. I've did my time across America, right? And, man. Okay, right, let's get into some headline news, guys. I'm sorry if I'm wasting too much of your time this morning. Let's get into some headline news and find out what the heck is going on, where it's going on. Now, this is a very interesting one because this is going to fall into the whole problem we're going to be experiencing Thursday or Friday. And this is going to add to it. This is here, let me just go to there it is right there, folks. Short of U.S. dollars, Argentina advances towards trading and hoarding in yuan. And we knew this was coming. We knew that everyone's dumping the dollar. And Argentina is increasing its use of yuan to pay for imports from China following the renewal and expansion of currency swap agreement with Beijing. The use of the Chinese currency in a bilateral trade amounted to 1.075 billion yuan, U.S., billion yuan. That's US 150 million in May this year. In the first 10 business days of June, transactions worth 2.045 billion yuan, 286.3 million were recorded according to the Central Bank of Argentina, Argentine Central Bank's report on June 15. So you remember how Argentina in 2019 was actually protesting hard. hitting the streets hard in Argentina. We're talking about flipping over cars and burning down police stations in 2019 before they pulled the trigger on the pandemic. It was going hard in Argentina. And this is very important. I just wanted to put this out there because as more and more countries start moving towards other currencies, China, and I think it was a video in 2016. I got to look it up. It's the 2016 video we made. It was a short where we were talking about how China and Russia have been selling U.S. treasuries and buying gold and silver. And it's been going on for a while, right? So it's not an overnight thing that's been happening. This has been going on for a good while now. And schools let children identify as horses, dinosaurs, and a moon. An extraordinary report from Sussex schools has shed light on the growing trend of pupils insisting on being addressed as animals. This is coming from the London Telegraph. This is actually from the Telegraph. This is actually from the fake news out of England. This is England's fake news CNN, level of CNN. So difficulty as it may be to believe, children at a school in East Sussex were reprimanded last week for refusing to accept classmates' decision to self-identify as a cat. I mean, if you didn't see it from this publication, you would think this would be fake news. If I actually read this without showing this to you guys would actually be thinking I am making this up to try and create some sort of an agenda or something. Yeah, DK's got the right thing here. Buy food and water with gold and silver. Food and water and ammo will be used for bartering. And candles and lighters. Everyone, and can openers. Everyone has an electric can opener. And everyone always forgets to have a mechanical can opener when the poop hits the fan. And lighters. Make sure you go to the dollar store, buy 50 lighters. Just put them in different places so if there's an emergency, you know where your lighters are, right? Especially if you don't have kids in the house, you'll be okay. But, yeah. Oh, sorry guys. I hope my yawning isn't contagious here this morning on Mike of the Night. Okay, Natural News is reporting we got JD Hayes in the house. And what is JD talking about? Well, more businesses now are resorting to biometrics so that the government nannies can literally track everything you do, see, and buy. And there it is right there. More business now resorting to biometrics. And this goes back to I'll give you guys a few episodes if you guys want to watch of other shows that we did that actually tie into this from a few years back. And you guys could actually see where we're going with this, right? And what happened was a bunch of politicians in Darwin, Australia, actually went... oh, wow, did they take that down? Oh, they took my video down. No, it's here. Thank God. So here it is right here. Darwin takeover with social credit score and 5G, digital ID, digital currency, thought control. So we talked about smart city plans and 15-minute cities and the Chinese social credit surveillance system. So there is the episode right there. It's called Darwin Takeover. You could find it on Odyssey and YouTube. And that's what I wanted to talk about right there. You see the boxes with the biometrics and the people are walking. So this was from Mike in the Night on May 11, 2019. And we were look at me dancing there, and we're going off this, the whole surveillance and what they're planning. And Supreme Cannon came on to host the show with me. Really good show. And, you know, we were already touching on this for a good while. But I wanted to bring this up because a lot of people keep asking for me to make specific videos. And I'm like, most of these videos have been made years ago already. Summer solstice today, says Lux Report. That's correct. I thank God that I'm strong and I live in Canada where most of the people are weak. And Silver Links get 3 months of your medications at a time. Lux Report says, I miss you, bro. Yes, and that will create the biggest black free market on the planet. Yeah. So there it is. So I'm proud to be in front of the curve, ditching the Canuck buck and being prepared, says Alejandro. Sorry, I just had a second there. I had to... Dear Veets in the house. Yeah, so there it is right there. So this was something really nice that we did. It's a nice video. It was a good mic in the night back from 4 years ago, discussing the no leave no. Look at this, leave no dark corner. That's not me. That's in their website. That's what they're reporting there. That's what they're working. And so they brought this into Australia in 2019, right? And I think when they locked it down, they're locking. After during lockdown, I think they did something, right. So we got Mike. One of your recent cast, you posted the question. We've seen military present in North America and California. Back in November of 2022, the governor okayed military weapons for local police and state guard surveillance. Okay. Yeah, digital ID is here already, probably mandatory soon. Where are you? Hey, you're in Australia, right? Yeah, so this was rolling out in Darwin. This video I'm showing you guys here, they were already rolling out this technology in Darwin. It says right here, recently there have been reports of how smart city plans in Darwin to draw inspiration from the Chinese social credit system. So there it is right there from, what's the date on this damn thing? May 11, 2019. So we were already on this before all these Rumble heroes came to light. So what are they reporting on today? Biometrics that government nannies can literally track everything you do and see and buy. So there it is right there. And as technology continues to advance, Big Brother governments in dictatorship and free societies alike continue to employ it to literally track everything their citizens are doing every hour of the day. Take, for instance, the employment of biometrics. So Hackney Food Bank, which operates 5 separate facilities throughout London under the umbrella of Trussell Trust Network, is a perfect example. The food bank is required that patrons to use the Food Donate app, which, according to Reclaim the Net, enables users to receive shopping tokens in lieu of traditional food parcels. By doing so, it helps the food bank cope with surging demand without the need for additional manpower to manage supplies. However, to avail of the surveillance, users are required to submit invasive facial scans that doesn't just facilitate the picking of food items from stores, but also paves the way for tracking purchases, the outlet also reported. So this is a food bank. So you go in and get your food, they're going to scan your face, and that's how they're going to get you in the biometric system. That's how they're going to get you in their system, is you're going to be starving, and they're going to go ahead and, they're going to go ahead and put you in the system. And we did, I think, a video almost, I think it was 5 or 6 years ago, food banks in London. Watch this. Let's see if it comes up. Food bank surge in London. So we did a video... Food prices set to skyrocket. We did a video specifically, probably got taken down, where there are more food banks in London. This was in 2018. There are more food banks in London than there are McDonald's, pizza joints. There's more food banks in London, England, than there is fast food restaurants. Yeah. Yeah, mandatory welfare soon. That's the... digital payment planned currency. Hey Mike, I got candles, lighters, also wicks to remake candles with waste wax. Got a tent, camping stove, and 6 months of food. I keep rotating 2 years. You just don't know when we'll need it, says Andy K. Thank you for that update, buddy. That's good to know that people are out there doing what they need to do. So we got Lisa from the United Kingdom. Hey, it's not Mike in the Night, because when it's Mike in the Night, guys, don't forget to join us for Mike in the Night every Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. It's like 3 a.m. in Lisbon, London time. It's like 3 a.m. there. And so Mike plan does not end today or tomorrow. The Depop will be a way of life, says Gina Chu Cheong. Even some dollar stores have facial recognition checkouts here in Calgary. Yeah. And why would they have facial recognition in dollar stores, Mike? That makes no sense. Watch this. 5 years ago, On the channel, we said middle class now turns to dollar store as wages not keeping up with inflation 5 years ago. My opinion, it's happening, folks. The disappearing middle class is no longer a myth. I just might buy some Dollar Tree stock myself. Definition of dollar store. U.S. The store is, there it is right there. So, yeah, dollar store is booming as inflation kicks in hard and middle class has less money 3 years ago. So, the dollar store thing has been something that's been on our radar too. And then they implement the facial recognition. That's how they get you. That's how they you know what I'm saying? That's how they get you. So let's go over some Canadian headlines. It's usually Trump's going to jail in Canada. So this is the Canadian CTV News. This is bought and paid for media here in Canada. Manitoba bus crash, death toll climbs to 16 after victim dies in hospital. Prayers go out to the families in that are suffering. Absolute disaster, and these accidents are happening. And we talked about this many times, about this uptick in automotive accidents and how, yeah, Lord Humongous is saying Japan is running negative. Dollar store junk. Yeah, Earthsign, you're right about the dollar store stuff. It's got a lot of chemicals that degrade or break down, and they cause harmful odors and toxins in the body. And I gotta go. I gotta do one day. My wife's gonna take a small vacation. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the whole house and throw out all the plastic stuff. We don't have a lot. I'm just gonna throw out all the plastic forks, the reusable plastic forks, the reusable plastic plates. I'm gonna get rid of, clean that out of the house and move forward. So Manitoba bus crash, death toll climbs. What else we have? Lawsuit, insufficient prototype testing could put Titanic sub-passengers in extreme danger. Canadian plane detects underwater noise in search of missing submersible. And so if there's any updates you guys have on that, we'll give you an up-to-minute update if anything changes. And regional banks trying to unload commercial real estate loans as new crisis looms. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. The financial sector is a massive, massive tsunami that's going to hit us. Steve the Cross says, no, Mike, I will be taking from the week who allowed this to happen before I go digital and follow the beast. You are using it right now. Okay, somebody else is messaging. Big accident, Pickering, Ontario on the 401. The 400 series highways there in Ontario, Canada. So why 5 billion? Why 5 billionaire on that sub went missing? Is this true? Anyone? Yeah, is that true? If anyone knows, let us know. So this is really big, and this is commercial real estate. We've been talking about vacant office towers and vacant office, thousands of acres, tens of thousands of acres of empty square footage of office space across major cities and rural cities of America. Regional banks are currently scrambling to sell down their commercial real estate loan portfolios to minimize their risk amid fears of more bank runs like those seen late last year. So remember the runoff on the monetary system, where people have no confidence in government, in turn have no confidence in their banking system, in turn have no confidence, and we start to see this. I got somebody, Try Something Else is in the Odyssey chat there. And we got nobody in the Rumble. I think we got 3 people watching us in Rumble. And we are not a Rumble hero, folks. Unfortunately, we're not Rumble hero material. And it's YouTube here. We got 70 people watching. Guys, don't forget to like and share this. It's Morning Coffee with Mike special edition here. So I'll do this from time to time for you guys. I'll do it from home once in a while and just kind of talk to you guys. We got Sandy Duchet in the house. Good morning. So Patriot Canada in the house. So, all right, let's keep moving on here. This is very important. I wanted to bring up here that debt service coverage ratios. This is very important. This is why we're seeing a lot of toxic assets on these asset sheets. So, moreover, the calculations were performed on the assumption that the current cash flows on the properties involved remain the same. But many landlords have less cash flow these days in the wake of rising V's. On the top of that, banks are largely switching to amortizing mortgages rather than interest-only loans favored in the past, which would push debt service payments even higher. American Institute for Economic Research economist Peter told the Epoch Times it's a very different world now from one in which a majority of these loans were made. So, zero interest rate environment before lockdown saw many businesses shift to remote work bases. Many of these loan portfolios full of office properties look great. Now, substantial portion of them look quite vulnerable. So, what do we talk about? We talked about this this whole zero interest. Yeah, zero interest. They're planning to federalizing your private more. Zero down home loans. Watch out. Zero down, and zero interest. Australia's taking on where was it? Negative rates and bail-ins coming your way. And they were pushing for negative rates. That's how bad it was getting. Australian interest. There we go. Interest-only loans. The financial sting will be even bigger. More bankruptcy as nearly half of Canadians were reporting worse financial than a year ago. What else? Zero. Where is it? Zero. Was it? Did we label it as zero? I'll type in just the number zero here. Yeah, I was telling people it's a trap. Get out of the zero. Get out of the zero. Interest. Interest only. Yeah, it was interest only. Sorry, guys, it wasn't zero. It was interest only. Yeah. So if you guys are looking for any, interest only. Big trouble in Little Aussie. Interest rates. Interest only loans. They're gonna have to raise rates to curb inflation 5 years ago. It's game over. There it is right there. When rates go up, it's game over. Interest only mortgages ready to go. And Australia's interest-only housing crisis will destroy middle class 5 years ago. Australia's banking disaster ahead. Interest-only will destroy people when they raise rates. So there it is, right there. We've been really vocal about this. This is something I'm very proud of. Very proud. Not that it's happening, but I'm very proud of actually getting the word out. Right? Okay, let's go back to the comments here. Fed's new banks have been in problems back in September, October. Now they admit they have. They knew about it, right? So replace all plastic utensils to silver mic and plastic containers to glass. Yeah, I already have a lot of glass in the house, but it's just the baby, the youngest one with glass. Yeah. So now interest rates, A is saying 9% now in Australia. Australia went through 12, correct me if I'm wrong, 12 rate hikes. So they blocked him on the chat, Lord Humongous, not me. Office space in big trouble, says YYC Guy. And Weeping Willow says, morning, by the way, it's not a mechanical can opener. It's called a manual. Love your channel, you're real. Yes, a manual one. You know what I mean, guys. And commercial real is rapidly collapsing. 430,000 repos booming now. Yeah. So Carmen in the house. How you doing, Carmen? Mortgage lending is kaput. That's correct. This is something, again, but we've been very vocal about. So I could sleep good at night knowing I did warn the masses that this is all a trap and this is all. And I was getting pooped on pretty hard, but that's okay. China trip could put some U.S. allies in precarious position. What else is happening here? European firms not benefiting from China's U.S. $1.8 trillion Greater Bay Area. Yeah, San Francisco is turning into a complete dump, and absolute dump. It's Amerifornia, and I'm afraid that Amerifornia is going to spread across America, where all of America will turn into basically California, Amerifornia. China tells UK to avoid moves that could aggravate tension in the Falklands issue. Why Indonesians say Dutch recognition of 1945 independence is a huge insult. let me see if there's a China aviation industry recovery difficult to achieve. Chinese carrier sales through Taiwan Strait days after Blinken visit. So just getting some news out of China, what they're trying to sell us there. And better dwelling. Canada's bank regulator moves to tighten credit as impaired loans surge. Canadian real estate correction not over, rising sales temporary, says Oxford economist. This week's top stories: Canadian real estate strength to fade and supply outpaced population growth. So this is not good news for Justin Trudeau, because now supply is outpacing population growth. And it goes back to the video I made the other day where I was telling you guys that I don't think Canada has 40 million people when the average house is $800,000, depending on what region you're in, right? So if you guys want to see that video, it's right here. Proof Canada's population is not 40 million people. And we actually go into... Let's take a look at what they're telling us. I'll present my case. You guys tell me if I'm out to lunch. Tell me where I'm wrong and they're right. I would like to know. There it is. CP24 is reporting Canada passes 40 million population milestone amid immigration push. So then we go into it, and some people debunked me in the comments saying that I'm dead wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. And we were talking about the money laundering here and pushing out middle-class people and white people leaving Vancouver and Aboriginals leaving and whites leaving Vancouver. And we've been very vocal about this. Is not old news. And look, worked 25 years to put a down payment on a home. I don't know what immigrants will be coming in with at least $2-3 million right off the bat if they're not money laundering. If they're money laundering, then it's a wide open. First-time home buyer loans, watch out. And we went into the dwellings in Canada, how many homes are in Canada, and how it just does not make any sense, and how basically we went into Canada would be in a recession without money laundering. So it's illegal and criminal money that's actually kept Canada in basically floating for all these years. All right, U.S. water. U.S. water safety study reveals herbicides, fragrances, and disinfection products are the most commonly detected public water contaminants, but what about fluoride? So that's a pretty big one. This is by S.D. Wells at Natural News. And back in 2007, the U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, tested 260 chemicals from, remember when Canada broke this big story coast to coast in 2019, just before they pulled the trigger on the pandemic? Do you remember the main headline is Canadian water severely contaminated? Do you remember that? September, October of 2019, that was like headline, that was front page, from Kingston, Ontario, to London, Ontario, to Vancouver, to Winnipeg, Manitoba, to Regina, Saskatoon. You remember that? That was a big deal. And then now it's yeah. So, okay, so here we go. So, from samples of water taken across the United States, finding various levels of 130 man-made chemicals, even after the prospective community water facilities performed their treatments. What's worse is that at least 3/4 of the supposedly cleansed water samples still contain at least 5 or more chemicals, where the carbon toxicity is often greater than that of any single contaminant in the mix. By the way, human health benchmarks are only based on toxicity data for individual chemical compounds, not the synergistic effect that comes from mixing them, and therein lies the concern. So there it is right there. Wow. So make sure you guys got a good Berkey water, something to filter your water at the house. So I got 3 water filters now, one inline, one big inline one that's almost as big as me, literally as big as me, like about 3.5 feet high, 4 feet. Then I have another one that we filter through the charcoal, and then sometimes we even boil it. Someone says, "Hi, Mike, can you do a show on Canadians moving to Oaxaca, Mexico? Real estate is booming in that region." Yeah, we actually did something like that a few years ago. Let me see if I could find the title for you. Mexico, Sydney... military movement, Canadians fleeing Ontario in frantic pace. Just trying to see if I could find top 5 reasons to leave Canada now. Importing fees, my experience. I'm just trying to see if I could find. I know I did a whole one because Low Roller Scratcher made me do a video. He made me do a video about people moving to the different regions of in Jalisco and San Luis Potosí and Laredo and places like that in Mexico, where Americans and some Canadians, but it was predominantly Americans, were moving to the Mexican side, and some Americans were living right on the Mexican-U.S. border, and they would work in the States, and they would go back and live in Mexico. And that was something that was happening for almost 10 years now. Unfortunately, I can't find the video we made of that. So, let me see if I just put in Mexico and see what happens. Mexico. Oh, remember this one we made? We made this video. Border walls to keep Americans out of Mexico. Rest in peace, American dollar. As the dollar collapses in when the value of the U.S. dollar plummets, anyone who holds you... So basically, they built the wall to keep Americans from escaping. We've been very vocal about that. Here we go. Leaving Vancouver for Mexico. We did one with an interview with somebody that actually just left Canada and sold all his belongings and moved to Mexico. All right. Yeah, look at these old episodes of Mike in the Night. Look, Secession Time. What the hell were we talking about in this thing? There's Mike in the Night. When was this from? October 26, 2019. And we're talking about, look, robot takeovers. Yeah, if you guys are, like, bored, and look at the protests all over the world we're covering. Catalonia. And look at the 2 idiots here. Remember these guys? These guys ruined. And Macron got reelected, too. And look. Trudeau victory sparks weight separatists in Canada West. Look at that. We were covering everything, man. We were on everything. We were everywhere with Mike in the Night. And just, I hope that, you know, when I pass on and go to the next side, I really hope that a lot of this information will be preserved and what we were talking about. Because I think what we were talking about at the time was very important. Because it actually paved the way to what they did to us. And I really... These are call-ins right now, so I'm listening to a caller here. Let's see who it is.
Yeah.
Anna, for instance, because
Sure.
a fairly recent one in the late 1800s, we can look at the history and creation of it real.
So, another caller there. So, the good old days, folks. All right, where were we here? Blah, blah, blah. We did that. And I don't know if you guys remember the Paul Bernardo case. I think it reached stateside. Warmington, justice officials charging Bernardo victims for court costs. Shameful. This guy was going around raping and murdering young women and found guilty. And now they're actually asking for the victims to pay for court fees. You can't make this stuff up. New Hope, Canadian plane detects underwater. We got that already. We covered that. Sleazy Hunter Biden will likely skate on dodgy plea deal. 2 people have perished after a fiery Highway 401 crash. Somebody mentioned that in the comments. Representative Robert Colorado Fields impeached against Biden. Canada and move to Mexico are one. Canada and Mexico are one nation now, says Weeping Willow. Skynet is offline, says A. Thousands lined up at U.S. southern border. When it hits the fan, Mexicans will not treat foreigners living in Mexico kindly. Hey, Mike, can you do a show on... Yeah, okay, all right, so I'm caught up with the comment. Let me see if anyone's on... Canada sells all, moves to Mexico. Sounds interesting. It says live for freedom. We got 2 people, 4 people on watching us on Rumble. And we got... one person watching us on 6 people watching us on Odyssey. Yeah, we're on YouTube too, guys. So that's why we have a very censored show today. Very censored show for morning coffee. Morning coffee is kind of to wake up the masses on the other side, right? All right, so let's keep going here. So we covered this. What's happening in South America? And Argentina again calls on for UK peaceful solution to Falklands. I don't even know why this is a thing. Like, I don't even understand. Rio Grande do Sul death toll updated to 16 due to extra tropical cyclone. And Chile Senate extends state of exception in southern regions. And Germany's far right wants to dissolve the EU. Yeah, EU needs to go, man. European Union. We're in 2012. We're making videos about the disastrous economic effects of the European Union. I think I'm a Portuguese, and I want to see Portugal out of that right away. And I want to see Portugal be allowed as an independent country to do business with Angola and Mozambique and Brazil like they used to, and Macau and Goa and East Timor, and actually recreate their empire that they had on fair trade and working with one another under the same umbrella type of thing. They're doing a lot of nefarious and tracking a lot of people down. I've lost 24 channels, says RAWRN News TV 2. Yeah, they're probably using this thing. What was that? This thing. So biometrics tracking, and what they're doing now with this is when I'm here with you guys like this, it's actually taking my biometrics from me as I'm doing this with you guys right now. It's taking it from me. And it's identifying me on who I am, where my location is. So there it is right there. Okay, where were we? So we got some news out of Australia. Now, this is very troubling here. Suicide mission. Explorer speaks out on Titan trip to Titanic. Watch this. Author Loby paid $169 large for a trip on the Titanic on the Titan sub, but just as he was about to launch, a vital equipment broke and was fixed with zip ties. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. And missing sub has less than 24 hours of oxygen left. Wow. Holy. So, hey, something broke. Let's not postpone the trip. Let's do this and have a maiden voyage and make headlines. What does that remind you guys of? The Titanic. Remember, we're going to make headlines. We're going to make... Oh, they made headlines, all right. They made headlines. So, North Korea slams again. Rampage in Israel. So we've been covering the Israeli... This is getting out of hand. What are they, 24 weeks now? We've been covering since day one. We have people that are friendly to Mike in the Night. Rampage by Israeli settlers injure scores of Palestinians in occupied West Bank. Oh, I thought this was the protests. The protests. This is on Twitter. So there it is right there. Look at the damage and fires. And wow, holy crap, man. This has been going on pretty much since the time of Abraham, man. So, yeah. And Jesus, again, in the Bible, his prophecy was dead on that Israel will be destroyed and people will move to the east, north, south, and west 81 years after his death. And I don't know if I'm right about the year, but 81 years after his death, Israel was completely destroyed and dismantled, and not one brick will lay on top of another brick. And then in 1948, I think it was, they re-established it. And this is the first time that a country or a region or a country was actually built off of a vote. So they voted for that, and they said that now, so 1948, they said that the last generation from the rebuilding of Israel will usher in the end of the world. That's what Bible prophecy says, to the word. That it's 80, so we've been 81, 82, or 83 years since the creation of Israel. So are we in the end of times like the Bible prophesied, or Jesus prophesied, or end of times prophesied, right? So that's a very interesting little tidbit of information. Okay, so let's move on here. What's RT reporting? Putin reveals future of Russia armed forces. New Nord Stream footage released video. So there's the Nord Stream and what's been happening there. NATO member threatens African aid, cuts off support for Russia. No grounds to extend grain deal to Kremlin. WWF declared undesirable in Russia. And British mission to rescue Titanic divers blocked by U.S. telegraph. Oh, man. Counteroffensive not going well, says Zelensky. And I think they're going to put the Ukraine war to bed. I think it's time I think they laundered it I think they laundered enough money now. I think there's enough money that's been laundered now. So I think they could move forward. And, yeah, I think they can. I think they could move forward now. I think I think they can. So what else is going on here? All right, guys. It's Morning Coffee with Mike. Let me see what else we got here. I heard there are 2 missing subs in the region, says Patriot Canada. Patriot. Someone says, somebody said that the last night, another podcast, LOL, they said there wasn't full of billionaires and part of the disclosure project. And yeah, slicing cables. Ukrainians become second largest group of foreigners in Germany. What else? UK debt source to 60-year high. This is a pretty big one. This is going to be forming what's going to be happening in the next week or so. This is a big deal. So 3.28 trillion owned by the government is more than 100% of the country's GDP, according to the Office of National Statistics. Lord Humongous earlier said in the comments that this is UK is toast. Britain's public sector, or French toast, or English muffins. Yeah. Britain's public sector net debt in May reached its highest level in over 6 decades and now exceeds the country's annual economic output. The Office for National Statistics, ONS, revealed on Wednesday. This comes as government borrowing has outpaced exceptions. So we went very in depth with government borrowing. Look at this Mike in the Night from back in the day. Eh? We went really into this back when we let's go to our channel time machine here. This is a pretty big one because government debt explained. Average American has $90,000 in debt. Canadians taking on too much debt. These are 4 or 5 years. Let me see if I can. U.S. governments will freeze American bank withdrawals. U.S. debt limit ceiling in serious trouble. That's old news. To economic debt collapse. Yeah, people of Canada. Yeah, government's taking on, and people, and private sector. Canadian household debt. China's household debt. Government, look at this one. Government jobs destroying Canada by 2025, 60% public sector by 2030. By 2030, 80 to 85%. We've been talking about the public sector destroying. Yeah, so we've been on this government debt loads. Government taking on too much debt. Canadian government. Australia was more people's, more personal debt load, right? So, good morning, objective reality. ESG's gonna do us all in. All right, let's keep going here. What do we got? Okay, that's the it's too much debt. Elon Musk announces Twitter considers the term CIS as a slur. Using it could result in temporary ban. So here it is, folks. We will start to see Twitter censorship as Elon Musk starts to cave, because now he's got a week left, maybe 2 weeks left, before they ban Twitter in Europe. And we've been telling you here from before it even actually made news that they are looking to ban Twitter from Europe. And it's becoming a big problem because it's hindering on us just to speak in basic discussion, just very basic discussion, right? Very basic, Anyways, what else does Reclaim the Net have here? The IMF is working on a global central bank digital currency platform, old news. The Pentagon scans social media to prevent embarrassment of generals, old news. Louisiana is pushing digital ID. The personal data of all driver's license and license holders have just been breached. And former Google employee who helped Edward Snowden says Google turned its back on free speech. And Robert F. Kennedy joins Rumble and becomes the first Democratic presidential candidate to join free speech platform. Actually, I think Ron Paul's been on Rumble for since Rumble aired. I think 3 years, 4 years. I think Ron Paul's been on. Because I follow the Freedom Report and the Liberty Report. I've been following Ron Paul. I don't know how many years now. For many years, actually. I think since 2011. I think. So what else we got here? Great Gateway Pundit. Special counsel on John Durham testifies before House Judiciary Committee starting at 9. Arizona State University faculty member speaks out. Yeah, I remember her. About termination, threatens harassment by leftist faculty for hosting event with conservative speakers. Actor Jim Caviezel, I keep getting his name wrong, implicates U.S. agencies in child sex trafficking, and he's been someone that's been working to bring sanity back. So all kinds of stuff happening here. Banning drag queen shows, minors from drag queen shows. How dare you? 5 years ago today, climate change hoaxer Greta Thunberg said the world would end. There she is right there, and the world's still here. But this week, something's coming down, and I've been letting you guys. Ron Paul's libertarian. Oh, okay, so they meant, I know what they meant in this. I know what they meant. I made a mistake here. Rumble becomes the first Democratic. I'm sorry. Yes, Ron Paul's libertarian. Okay, I get it. I get what they mean now. Sorry. Thanks, Lord Humongous. Satanic Temple to host Let Us Burn concerts at stage capitals in protest of Christian musician. So, now, I got a video taken down the other day, yesterday, from 2014 when we were talking about Drag Queen Story Hour, and we were talking about the uptick in the after-school Satan clubs. With 2014 or 2015, it was a long time ago. This wasn't happening in 2020. This was happening. The after-school Satan club was a big thing. So we were looking at the after-school Satan club back out of Michigan. That children were allowed to take time off of class, like from learning things, to actually get bused to the after school Satan club. You can't make this stuff up. So it's been going on for a while. So do you know that Trump used to own all of those islands? He bought them in a real estate deal with the United States military 33 years ago on Christmas. Trump used to own all those islands. Interesting. Remember how everybody was using the term Hunter Biden becomes the hunted? That was a famous Twitter account. I had two of them. Was a backup. Elon refuses to reinstate those accounts. Yeah, I got one account taken down. I wasn't a lot of followers on is he talking about Twitter? Talking about Twitter? Yeah, Twitter. Yeah, my Twitter, I think it was at 7,000 or 6,000. I wasn't a lot of followers on Twitter. My big ones were my Facebook ones. I'll show you guys this one here. Just my name, Mike Martins. If you guys want to find me on Facebook, here it is. This one has 112k followers, and see, I'm live there too now. See, guys, I'm on there, but no one sees anything. See, look, nobody sees anything. And it's really sad how severely shadow banned we are. You would think with 100k plus follow, and the Mike of the Night one should be live too. Mike of the Night should be live also. Let me just double check if it's even running. And I got them both running, but unfortunately, again, there's just no. don't get... let me see the Mike of the Night one here for you guys. If you type in Mike of the Night, you can find it too. Okay, yeah, this one went up, I think, 1,000 followers, so 92. I think it's 92K. I think I'm still... No, I don't even know. And yes, I'm live here too. There it is. There. Oh, one person likes it. I made a brief appearance on the Kevin J. Johnson show yesterday, and brought up a bit of the money laundering and how I believe that there's not 40 million people living in Canada. That's just my take on it, folks. You could prove me wrong all you want. And okay, what else we got? So there's the race to save Titan 5, the Titan 5. So it's pretty sad, especially when they have to duct tape or what do you call it, tie strap things. And German who paid OceanGate to see Titanic wreck in 2021 says he was incredibly lucky to make it after one sub didn't work. There were electrical problems and a piece of the vessel fell off. Yeah, that's some serious that's some serious stuff, man. This looks like hell. Anxiety, including Titan diagram released by OceanGate, shows how there's only room for one person to extend their legs on cramp missing sub. Oh, wow. Wow. There's a diagram here showing where it's at. Ooh, that's the Titanic depth. So the Titanic depth is pretty deep. Let me see if this picture even opens. It doesn't even open. The pictures don't open. So there's the depth of it there. I guess they're using this as a big headline distraction, I guess. So they're always looking for a big distraction. You know how it is. In Canada, they're always looking for their next distraction. What else? Lots of stuff on Zero Hedge if you guys want to check it out. It's pretty much most of the stuff that we covered on here. And guys, don't forget to check out old episodes of Mike of the Night, man. There's some pretty good stuff, man. Mike of the Night Secession Time. And that was back in 2019. If you guys want to check out old episodes on what we were covering. These protests, man, these protests all over the world. Look, protests all over the world. No confidence in government everywhere, and people burning things and destroying buildings. And look at this. It's just all over the place. And violence in Catalonia. And the Catalonians wanted independence from Spain, and they weren't allowed it, even though 97% of the people voted in favor of it. And, yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to go open the shop. I'm going to go open the shop. I'm headed out. I'm going to head out now. And I really appreciate you guys coming on here for Morning Coffee with Mike Special Edition. Guys, don't forget to share this. If you want, let's do a quick channel plug. If you want to find out where we're at everywhere at all times, just go to here. Go to realmikemartins.com. realmikemartins.com. So Mike Martins is MikeMartins, realmikemartins.com. Go there and just, here it is. It goes right here to this goes to the main page here. Go to realmikemartins.com if you guys don't mind. I would appreciate that. And you could find pre-episodes of Mike of the Night. You could add me on Skype here. You could go to videos, past videos, and you could find us on our social media on Telegram, Facebook, and server's running a bit slow here today. Database error. Okay, we're getting a database error. There it is. It's back up. And there it is right there, guys. If you guys want to go to realmikemartins.com, if you want to add me on Skype for Mike of the Night, if you want to donate here, we have already raised $76. Thank you, everybody, for donating. And if you want to help out and donate, you're more than welcome to be part of the channel. We've been saying it since 2012, and I really appreciate you guys coming out here this morning. All right, who else is in the comments? Thank you, Mike. Keep speaking out the truth. Amen, says Amanda. I hear people still have PTSD from air horn blasts and Vancouver. LOL. That is true. You guys get excited when you hear an air horn. Real money, gold, silver, coin. is not an illusion, says Lord Humongous. We got to get him back on Mike in the Night again to make an appearance. Canadians don't honk their horns long enough. Follow the money, says SK there. And yeah, all right, guys. Mike Martin's here.